Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Nocode Africa. And in this video, you will get to learn how to build a marketplace like Fiverr. Alright, so Fiverr is a marketplace for freelance services. So let's take a look at it. So this is Fiverr, right? So here you can actually find perfect freelance services for your businesses, and that simply means that you can actually get to see like popular freelance services, AI artists, logo design, WordPress, voiceover, video explainer, and all of that, right? So we are going to be using FlutterFlow, which is like a no-code tool that allow us to build mobile and web applications without having to write a single line of code. All right, so it allows you to build application faster than ever, just like you can see here on the screen. All right, so with FlutterFlow, you can create beautiful UIs, generate clean code. By that, it simply means that if at all you are a software developer and let's say you write Dart, okay, you can actually get to generate clean code and maybe polish it up or extra manipulate it and then maybe host it somewhere else other than Firebase, which is like the platform that we use in hosting the database for our application, right? So that being said, the next thing we're going to do is talk about how the application is going to work. So here is more like a user flow of how the application works. We're just going to create a simple version of Fiverr, not like the complicated version. So here you get to see that as a new user, you can actually get to register, right? Before you get to see the different other parts of the application. Or if at all you're a returning user, you can actually get to log in with your email and password. And then you get to see, these other part of the application. So let's say you log in into the application, you'll be ushered into the product categories screen, and then upon seeing the product categories screen, which you will see something like graphic design, digital marketing, software development, right, and other categories. Yeah, and then if you click either of this, it will show you the different services under each of those. So for example, services here for graphic design could be logo design and flyer design. For digital marketing, it could be email marketing, social media marketing. For software development, it could be mobile application development or web application development, or both. All right, then upon selecting it, you can actually add it to cart and then proceed to checkout. This is going to be a very detailed tutorial, and it will allow you to understand how to use FlutterFlow to build this kind of stuff. Okay, so you could just have to pay attention, and then you will be able to catch this easily. I'll try to see how I can repeat a couple of things to see how to make sure that you really understand what you're learning right now. Okay, so what next are we gonna do? The very first thing we can do here is we can go to FlutterFlow. All right, so this is FlutterFlow. You can just click to sign in if at all you already have an account. Like I do have an account already. If you don't have, you can just register on the platform, and upon signing in, you're going to be ushered into this particular part, more like the intro part for your all your projects. Yeah, so here we are going to go ahead and do something really cool. We're going to create new application. Here all you just need to do is type the name of the application. So I'll say Fiverr app. This is basically it. Yeah, so you just type Fiverr application. You can use a hyphen here but not an underscore. Yeah, so that's just it. All right, so you just click on create blank, and then here is the next thing that you're supposed to do. All right, so here it says that the project name is called Fiverr app, the package name is this. You're not supposed to be concerned so much about any of this. Then you can either skip or you do next step. So we're gonna do next step. All right, so here is where we need to go ahead and then connect this project to Firebase. So Firebase is where all the data of your application will be stored. So you will have to understand this particular step so much, because without without it you won't be able to like build a very good application, right? Because almost all your application that you're gonna build will have to be getting some things from the database. It's gonna be getting some information from Firebase and all of that, right? So how do we set this up? So first of all, the first thing you need to do is you need to provide FlutterFlow with the Firebase project ID. You're supposed to put it here and then click on connect. So now we don't know what the Firebase project ID is, so we will take it step by step. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Firebase console. All right, so this is Firebase console, and here we can go ahead and create a new project. So you just have here, you can just go to firebase.com or firebase.google.com. I think it can redirect you to the correct place, but just note the URL I'm using. All right, so click on create project. Here I'm going to call the project Fiverr app. Okay, so Fiverr app, and with this application I'm going to go ahead and accept the Firebase terms and conditions. All right, and so yeah, let's just go ahead and continue. I hope we don't get to encounter any problem, but for this project, if I encounter a problem, I'm going to fix it. We're gonna like try to fix it together, right? Yeah, because it is not expected that you don't run into any problem at all. So the main thing that is important is how you fix the problems when you encounter them. All right, so at some point we might get to hit some roadblocks, and we will exercise our strength in surmounting those roadblocks, right? So this is it. We're already on course and we're doing really fine. So you just wait for a while until it completes this particular process. Okay, so it's done. It says your new project is ready, so you click on continue. All right, so we have our project, right? So it's called Fiverr app. The thing we need to do right now is we can just go ahead and click on this, right? And then click on project settings, and we will see the project ID for our application. All right, so we can go ahead and just copy that and then come back to FlutterFlow, all right, and paste it here. When you paste this and click on connect, now the FlutterFlow application now knows where it's supposed to be getting its data from when you're trying to query the database. All right, so you can click on connect, and if it works, it will tell us it works. All right, so now it says FlutterFlow does not have access to this Firebase account. Please add Firebase at flutterflow.io as an editor to this project. Now that's it. So we will be seeing some errors, and then we'll be fixing it as we go. All right, that's the best thing that can ever happen. I love errors. Okay, so we can come back to Firebase. We have just come back to it. Go to users and permissions. Okay, and then go ahead and click on add member. It says, let's go back to what it says here. It says okay, let's click on it again so that it can show us the error. Don't forget, you have to fall in love with errors here. So FlutterFlow does not have access to the Firebase account. Please add Firebase at flutterflow.io. all right, so that's that exact thing that we're going to do. So we'll come back here and say Firebase at flutterflow.io. okay, then we need to give it the role as editor. That's exactly what it said. And then we need to go ahead and add as member. Okay, so when we are done, it says added Firebase at flutterflow.io. So this is it is good now. So we can go back to FlutterFlow and then click on connect again. And if it actually connects, then we will have this green tick right now. So FlutterFlow has access to this Firebase project. All right, so that simply means that we've connected it, and it's really good. So the next thing we're supposed to do now is auto-generate config files. But before then, it says here enable authentication. We're going to have to enable authentication, allow users to log into your application and all of that. So for users to have access to our application after they have been authenticated, then we need to enable authentication, right? That's how this works. That's exactly how it works. And so what do we need to do from our Firebase? Now, we don't really need to do anything, but I just want us to go ahead and then do this one step. further into our application before we continue anything. All right, so let's go ahead and then click on authentication. Let's come to authentication here. All right, and then here it says authentication, authenticate and manage users from a variety of providers without server-side code. All right, so you just click on get started, and then you get to you will be presented with something here, and this is exactly what you're being presented with. So you can get started with the Firebase authentication by adding your first sign-in methods, all of this. Okay, so we will just focus on email and password, and then we'll just enable this, and then we'll click on save. Like that, we have done this, and that's perfect. That's really good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to go back to let's go back to FlutterFlow, and then we'll turn this button on, right? So it tells us entry page and logged in page. Now let me explain what that means here. So we have the entry page is a login page. This is like what your user gets to see before they get access to the real application. So that means if at all they are not logged into the application, they see this particular page. So if we click here, we can go ahead and tap a lot of things, but don't just hold on. We're going to get to that point. And so here we will just, it says here create user collection, automatically add a user collection to Firestore for logged in users. So yeah, we can just turn this on as well. Automatically add a users collection to Firestore for logged in users. Yeah, so that's it. Then what else do we need to do here? So just click on auto generate config files, then click on generate files, and then just hold on. It will take a couple of you know, maybe a minute or so to you know, generate the config files. So it's not supposed to take a very long time. Okay, so let's see. All right, so now that's done. So Firebase setup is complete, and then here what we need to just do is set our entry page and our logged in page. So we'll click on here, and then we go to authentication. Now the thing is this, Firebase has like the templates for authentication, for contents, for lists, for settings, and for e-commerce. All right, so it has a lot of templates here you can use. So if you come to authentication, which is basically like your sign up and your sign in screens, you can see a lot of things here, like a lot of things, a lot of screens that you can use from. You don't need to like start from scratch if you don't want to. All right, so here we're not going to start from scratch. We're going to just use this particular one. So I'll click on this, and I'll call this login. Yeah, so you can say login screen or login, but I just know that any of the things that I'm creating is a screen, so I'll just leave it like that. So login, and then that's it. And then for here, the logged in page. All right, so when your users have actually logged into your application, what's the very first screen that they're gonna see? So here, our application is gonna be more like a list. Like after they have logged in, they should see like a list of categories. All right, list of categories that they can, you know, click on to see the different services under those categories. So we will just go down here, and then we'll find a particular list. So this works for me. I think this is okay. So we can use these or these. Anyone works really. So I think I will go for these, right? Which one should I go for? Should I use this or this? All right, so let's use this. I'll just go ahead and use this, and then let's call this our homepage. So you can say homepage or just home or anything you want to call it. All right, so I'll click on create page, and now that we're done, we can just click on start building. So like this, now we have a couple of errors, if you can see down here. All right, so you might not actually know that this is what this is telling you, that there are errors, but these are like the project issues that we're currently experiencing. So you can tap on it, and you will see a couple of errors here. So it says auth setup. When using Facebook login, you must provide the Facebook app name and all of this. When using Facebook login, you must provide this auth action, phone SMS code verification page is required for phone sign-in, widget confirmation, and all of that. So we have a lot of things here. So let's click on this and see how we just need to change a couple of things. So here we can just first of all, before I start deleting things out, I want to take you through the entire database here. So not like database, dashboard for this platform, right? So now these are like the pages for this project. These are like the pages for this project. This is the home page. This is like what your users get to see when they've logged in, and we're using a template here. Then this is a logged in screen. Okay, so now what I need you to understand is that when you click on a particular screen under the widget tree, all right, you will see the breakdown of the widget tree. It's called a tree because it looks like a tree. All right, so it has like children here. So okay, so it has like children here. So now these are the different things here. I will explain it with time. All right, so but right now we're not going to pay attention to the UI immediately because we're using like a template. We just want to focus on the functionality. Then in subsequent tutorials we will try to see how we can recreate this from scratch, and then how we can make it like really work out. Okay, so here this is like this is the social login row, so you can just hover on it and then click on it and then click on delete, and then that takes it off. And then here you can delete this as well and take this off as well. Forget password, we don't really want to fix all of this process. Come to sign up, and you can also do the same thing. Delete this and delete this, and then delete this as well. All right, okay, so with this now we have like we've reduced our errors to 2 lines. So if you come to hover on this, all right, it will tell you max line must be 1 for password fields, max line must be 1 for password. So I think that what you just need to do to fix that is click on this. All right, so when you click on this, you see here there's a max line here. Just put 1 there, that's okay, and then that error is gone. Then click on this and then type 1, and that's it. So now we no longer have any error in our application. That simply means that we can like try to run it, and we will see result out of that. So before then, I will just quickly let me change my Wi-Fi. Okay, so yeah, I needed some like a faster network. Okay, so here we go. Here is FlutterFlow, the logo part. So now this particular tutorial is not for me to explain about rows and columns. I will do that in subsequent tutorials. I just wanted you to like have like a very quick head start into it, so you can replicate what I'm doing to have a feel of FlutterFlow. All right, so here I will change this from being like a logo. I will just delete here. I'll just come here and I will delete this, and then I will click on here, and then these are all the widgets that we have here. Then I'll just click on text, and then here I can for every widget that you have, you see like the properties of your widget here, which you can manipulate. So here I will just come here and change it to I will call this our Fiverr app. Okay, so that's it. And then now the color here is like, I don't know, black or something. So we will just go down here. This is like the pane, like the part where you get to change the properties of your widget, right? So we can just make this semi bold, make it larger. Font size we can say 20. Let's make it 24. And then the primary text color, we can just tap on this and then pick this color here, and so here we have it, Fiverr app. Okay, so we're good with that. So if you want to just see how this works, you can just come to this preview app here and then just tap on it, and then while you wait a little time, it's just going to show you how it looks like. All right, so this is it. It looks really beautiful, right? So you can type some things here. You can click on this, it can open and show you that I typed 111. And then here you can just, it's like really cool. So this particular part just allows you to just test how your application looks like. It doesn't really pay attention to the functionality immediately. All right, so it just allows you to just preview your application. Okay, So the next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and what next are we going to do? So here we have our home screen, all right, and then here we're not going to call it order now. Let's just do a few changes, okay? So let's call these categories. Let's call it categories. Categories. Okay, categories. All right, so categories. Let's say product categories. I hope it's not so long. Okay, so product categories. Okay, so this is it. That's fine. So let's say the following categories are available. Did I spell that right? Okay, all right, so I'm typing pretty fast and I'm making mistakes. Okay, so available. The following categories are available. So here we have this, and then we have this cart icon. That's okay. So now each of these is like a menu item. It's called like a menu item, right? So we will try to delete others that are we don't really want so much here, because we're going to, like, create a list of an existing product category here. So we don't need all of this. We just need one. So I'm gonna delete a lot of things here. So let's come to menu item. I'll just click here and then delete, then click another one and delete, and I'll just delete them until I'm done deleting all the menu items. Not all the menu items. I will leave out one is gonna survive. Okay, so another one, and then this last one here. Okay, so here it is. We have this. So this is going to be like the title of the products, then maybe a brief description of it, and we wouldn't need this price. We wouldn't need price for this, so we can just click on it and take it off. All right, so like that, this is all we need for here. Okay, so now that we have done this, now we need to get this information from our database, right? We want to put it in a database and then get it out from the database. That's exactly how we're going to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So now look at this. First of all, we're going to come to the Firebase here. We had done our authentication, and then we will come to Firebase database. I'll just click on it, and it will load up. And we will go ahead and then set up our Firebase database. That's a cloud Firestore. So I'll just click on create database. I hope everything works out fine. So we have here, just click on start in test mode. So click on next, and then click on enable. All right, so we're using test mode, and we hope everything runs well. Okay, so it ran well, and so what we need to do right now is we have our Fiverr application. So we need to do something called collection, right? For some of the students, or maybe no coders who have used Adalo and any other no code tool, you know that there's something called collection. Collection is more like table, right? So this is where you like put information that has to do with your application. Okay, so now here we're going to create a collection. We'll call this collection let's call this collection product, maybe categories. Yeah, so categories, right? So well, we can call it categories, right? Okay, so yeah, let's call it categories. Then categories and services. I would like to really still put product here. I'm not sure hyphens are allowed, but let's see. I would like it to be called like this, product categories, to make a whole lot of sense for my naming convention. Okay, so now I clicked on that. Then for the document ID, just click on auto ID, and then here we're going to do a couple of things. All right, so let's come back to this document that I created. So we're trying to build a marketplace like Fiverr with FlutterFlow. It is a full tutorial. So the marketplace inventory and user setup and Firebase, we have done this particular part. So this is the part that we're trying to create right now. So if you come here now, we have, this is like the product categories, right? So it has graphic designs, and then this is like a link I had already created just so that we don't get a waste time when we're trying to get the image and a couple of things. So this is the name of the one of the product categories, right? Is called graphic design. All right, so one of them is called graphic design. And then so we're gonna look at if you come back in your application right now and you see there's a name here, right? And then there's a description. So we're gonna say name and description and image. These are the variables that are going to follow each of our product categories, right? So name, description, and image. Name, description, and image, right? So we're just gonna make it as simple as that. So when we come here, we'll say here is going to be the field name, is the field will be name. This name is a string, so we have like a couple of other data types here. We have like the number, boolean, map, array, null, timestamp, geopoint, and reference, right? So we're gonna just pay attention. We're using a reference here, so you don't necessarily need to fill this now, but I'm gonna fill it at first. So graphic designs. All right, so I add another field. This is gonna be description, so I will just use small letters. Description. All right, so try and use something you will use easily in the other side. So description, maybe amazing graphic designs for business owners. So something like that. Okay, that's the description there. And then here is gonna be like the image, right? So here in the image, we will just come to, now your image is still gonna be string because we're copying like an image address and then pasting it here. So you just leave it like that. But in the other side, we're going to use an image path. I will show you what I mean. So here for this particular part, I will just come back to here. So graphic design link. I had already copied, created a link to an image from Google, right? So let me paste this first, then show you what I mean. So what I did was I came here and I said graphics design, then I typed this, then I went to look for images. I had to do for all of the different categories so I don't get to waste so much time here. So like this, I open this and I can right click and then copy image address, so you can just like copy image address, and that's basically how I got it. All right, so all the things that this links here, all the image address that I copied for each of these product categories. Okay, so we have these now, and then we can go ahead and just save it. Now when you save it, something beautiful happens. So you have that this is product categories, and then under the product categories, the documents here, this is the document, and then this is the details for that document. All right, so we're gonna create for how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6, just 6. All right, so let's try to see how we can create this quickly. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to create, I'm not adding another document. I'm gonna add another document, sorry. I'm not adding a collection, I'm adding another document. So I'll just click here to add another document, then tap on auto ID and then say name. Try to make sure that your naming convention is the same. All right, so we had name, description, and image, right? So name, this is gonna be what? It's gonna be digital marketing. Let me just copy this link at once. Okay, so here this is the name, digital marketing. Okay, then here I will just call it description digital marketing services for business owners. Okay, so then here I will just add the image I'm using small letters all through, and I'll just paste. Okay, so like that, I have these informations here. So here, this is like the most recent is this is the old one, and then this is the most recent one. So these are the documents. Then I can just go ahead and add another document, auto ID, and then this is gonna be software development. So I'm just copying the image just so that we don't get to waste time. And then software development. Okay, then add field. This is gonna be description. Software development services for business owners. Okay, all right, so here I'll come to here and just add an image, and then I'll paste what I copied. Okay, so save. Okay, so we have like 3 documents here. We have 3 more to go. Let's hurry up. So auto ID, and then here is going to be 3D modeling. I'm copying this, so I'll say name, nope, 3D modeling. Okay, then add this and say let's say description. 3D modeling for 3D modeling services. Okay, for business owners. Now the thing is this particular part for the value can actually be edited, but the part for the field cannot be edited. Okay, so you have to be careful for the fields. So here I will say image. Try to make sure that your conventions are all correct. Image, I will just paste what I had copied, and then that's it. I'll add another document, click on auto ID, and then the next one is 3D animation. So I'll just say oh sorry, you see I almost made a mistake there. 3D animation. Okay, so here I'll say description. And then 3D animation for animation services for business owners, right? So the next one here is image, and it's a string, and then save. Okay, so we have one more document to finish, and that's creative writing. So creative writing, so I will come here, click on auto ID, and say name, creative writing. All right, click on add field, and then say description, creative writing services for business owners. Okay, then we add here and say image. All right, so I'll just paste in the image location, the image address, and then I'll say save. Okay, so now we have everything that we need, right? So we have like 6 product categories, right? And then we have 6 product categories. Now we're supposed to have like services under these categories, right? So under graphic design, we're supposed to have this, but I don't want us to hurry up without seeing what we have created. I want us to do these things step by step, and then from there we see what we have achieved per time. Okay, so that in case you know, you encounter an error, you know where to go back to go look at it. All right, so here, what are we gonna do? This is our product category. So let's go ahead and see how we can call this thing from the database and then make it appear on the screen. Now, the thing you need to do is that now that you've created you know, the database in Firebase, all right, you've created a collection in Firebase, you have to do the same thing in FlutterFlow, and they have to be the same. You don't need to go ahead and do all the typing here. All right, you won't do the typing, you just have to add the fields. Okay, so let's go to FlutterFlow, and then let's close this. All right, so we come here we just click on Firestore here. We just click on this. And then when you come here, you see this is like the user database. This was generated automatically for us. Okay, the user schema. Now that was because we had told FlutterFlow to generate it, like to create the schema for us. Okay, so the next one we need to do now, we need to create the user collection for the product categories, right? So we click on this and then we call it the same name. Just try to give it the same name, product categories. Okay, and then it tells you, is this a sub collection? No, I will tell you about what sub collections are later, like when we're trying to create the services. Okay, so but this is not a sub collection, this is like the main collection. So we click on create this, then we can now go ahead and then start from scratch. Now you can choose some templates here by checking a couple of things, but no, we want to start from scratch. So here the template was quite simple. The field name that we used was name, and what was the data type for the name? We use string. Okay, so you click on this to make that happen. Then here we did description. All right, so what was the data type? The data type was string as well. And then here we have image. What was the data type? The data type was string as well. But now here we won't be using string. We'll be using photo path. Okay, we will use photo path. If we encounter a problem, we will try to fix it. So but we're using a photo path here, and when you click on it, it tells you image path. All right, so in as much as we use a string in the other side, we're not considering it as a path in FlutterFlow. All right, so we go ahead and then check this, and that's it. Now you've created the schema for the product categories that is found also in your Firebase Firebase database. All right, so this is the product categories, and we have all of this. The fields, what we just added is the image, name, and description that we have here. Now we have done that. We can assume that we are fine, but just to avoid having issues, click on the setting icon here, still under the Firestore component here. So now here a lot of things are happening. A lot of things. We had turned on user collection here, and then the Firebase schema validation. So validate status. So you can click on this button here to validate to see if the schema in FlutterFlow matches the schema in database. Now don't forget that these two things have been connected, so they can actually get to know whether they are the same or not. So you don't have to wait until you encounter some errors before you validate this to check, because just a spelling error can actually get to affect your entire application. So you have to be very careful. So we can click on the validate button here, and then we will wait for FlutterFlow to give us a validation. All right, so if that's FlutterFlow, Firebase, they just validate that everything is a match. All right, so when it is a match, it's going to show me some sort of green. I think it should be a green icon that shows a check here. So we're waiting for that, and then when we have that, we now know that it's working. I think I didn't make any error. Okay, so it didn't give me a check here, but it actually just shows me successful. All right, so validation status successful. So you can go ahead and then build your application. So we will go back to the widget tree, and then here we're going to start doing some very interesting things, right? So the very first interesting thing we're going to do here is that we're going to go ahead and then click on this particular. We'll try to see how we can get stuff from the database. Now, how do you get stuff from the database? You can only get stuff from the database if at all you query the database. That means you ask the database, what do you have inside you? And the database is going to be like, okay, I have this, I have that. And then you automatically tell it, show it to me. And then it shows it in front of you, which is on your mobile application. All right. So sometimes you're not like the one that will be asking it. It is your users that will be asking it. So you are trying to create a situation where everything can be in sync, such that when your users are using the application, right, they will be able to get what they want to get, not like they click on something and then they get another result. Okay, so now here we will go ahead and then set the things up. So the first thing we're gonna do right now is if you come here to let's say the column. All right, this is the column. Yeah, So now we're gonna do some things. All right, we want to get information into this column, but not exactly like right now, because even if we get this information into this column, we don't have a place to pass it inside. I will explain this subsequently, right? So now what we want is, we want this menu item to be duplicated like we had before, but now with details from the database. How do we do that? So just click on the menu item. All right, so if you click on the menu, this is what is going to duplicate, but you wouldn't be able to make these show you as a list. All right, because this is not a list element, it's not a list component. Instead, what is a list component here is called the list view. All right, so you have to click on the list view. The menu item is inside the list view, and you can have like lots of menu items, right, showing as a list inside your list view component, right? So that's the thing. So you have to be careful about this. You have to click the list view item, right? So let's say, so here they're like elements. Okay, let's not call it items, let's call it elements. They're like elements. So you click on the list view elements. All right, they're all widgets, but you can just call it elements, right? So you click on the list view element, and then you come to this particular part of the screen, the right hand side of the screen, and then you come hover on top of here, you see back end query. Let's show you another thing. This one says actions. All right, actions here is more like when I tap on something, what should happen? All right, so that's the actions. When I hover on top of something, what should happen? All right, so backend here is, what should I get for you from the database, and how should I get it for you? All right, then we have some other things like the generative dynamic children, which I will talk about on the course of this course. All right, so let's go ahead and click on this, and then pay attention, because this is very, very delicate. So you click on add backend query. Now when you click on add backend query, you will see here it tells you query type. So you click on this onset. It's asking you, what kind of query type do you want us to do? Now there are several query types. There's Algolia search, Superbase query, API call, document from reference. I will tell you all of that. In fact, I will show you so you can know the differences. So let's start with the query collection, because this is what we want. We want to query a collection in the database. You know, we created collection in Firebase, and then we created a schema of that same collection in FlutterFlow, just so that they can match, so that FlutterFlow can get it from Firebase and then give us when we need it. So right now we are querying the collection. So we click on query collection. So it now says, build Firebase query. What collection are we looking at? So you can click on here, you see the collections. So we have only two collections, the user collection and the product categories collection. So we click on the product categories collection. It will now tell you, what is the query type? Do you want a list of documents, or just a single document, or you need a count of document? All right, so now we need a list of documents on the product category. We needed to produce all the lists, everything that's available, that we wanted to produce it for us. Okay, so we need it as a list. And then after that, what else? That's it. So after you've done with that, you can just click on confirm, and then it will tell you create backend query. It says a lot of things here. Just click on confirm, and then when it happens like that, you have a duplication here. All right, so it tells you that, oh yes, I'm ready to query stubs for you from the backend. Okay, so here it already tells you edit backend query. You can remove backend query. So we don't want to remove, we just want to edit. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and then click on these images. Now that you've queried everything from the backend, anything else that is under it, like the children, right, they will inherit every single situation from what you've done so far. So now we will click on this image, and then you see here we have set from variable. Now this is the image part, because we're using a template, right? So it has like an image path. Okay, so you can decide to set from path or set from variable. Okay, so we want to set from variable. So click here to set from variable. So you click on set from variable, and then where is this your variable coming from, right? Where is the source? It says here source. So you have to click on this. Now it created a document. Don't forget, we created a document in the Firebase. So it's now telling you product categories document. Is that the source of your image? Like, is that where you want to get your information from? Yes, that's where we want to get information from. So you click on it, you see image, you take the image. All right, that's done. Then for here, we want to use the name of the category. So we'll click on this, and then over here we see set from variable. Initially it's just something that we typed here. Then we can click set from variable, the same thing, product categories document, and then we say name. Okay, so here we will say subtext. This is just gonna be for our description. Click set from variable, product categories document, and we will say description. All right, so now that we have done this, we are good to go. Now so far so good. We don't have any errors. It just have some warnings here, which is pretty safe. Don't worry, we'll fix that up. And from there we can just go ahead and then preview our application. So if you click on preview your application, you will be able to like see your application. I think the very first thing we're going to see is going to be our product categories here. So it allows you to see it, but you can test it. You only see it, you can click on it and then do a lot of things, but you can like test. This is just to show you like to preview your that particular screen, right? So we will just close this, and I will close this as well. And then here what we really want to do is we want to go ahead and then use a run mode to actually run this product. So now if you click on this one, all right, let me go out. If you click on this one, this is like running your app in test mode. It's really good because as we change things, it will now the thing is, when you're running your project, it might take some time before it shows the final result. So but if at all you make increments, you can just go and do more like a hot reload, right? Something like really quick. So let's click on this first, and it's gonna start loading. This might take some time. That's one thing that I need you to understand. It might take some time. So it says that we're setting up a testing session for your app. It might take 2 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer than that. So while that is going on, let's go ahead and then run another part here. Okay, so we're running another part. One might be faster than the other. So anyone that finishes fast, we will get to work with that particular one. So while this is being set up, okay, because I wanted us to be able to be like checking our application as we are building it. All right, so I will just use this particular opportunity to make a recap of what we have done so far. Okay, so the very first thing that we did was we went ahead, we came to FlutterFlow, and then we clicked on, we signed in, assuming that you already have like an account. We signed in, then we clicked to create a new project. When we created a new project, we did some authentication, and then we went to Firebase. We clicked on this button here, went to project settings, and copied the project ID, and then we pasted it back in where it was required of us in FlutterFlow. And then we did some basic connections, and then after that we came back to Firebase, and then we came to authentication first. We came to authentication, and then we created the authentication. Then after that we came back and then did the Firebase database scenario. Yeah, okay, so that is what we have done so far. Let's see, we're still waiting for our application to give us what we need. So I think this one is faster. Oh, this is the debug mode. So this might, okay, this says here Fiverr app run mode build has finished. So this one has finished, but the test mode is gonna show us something actually. I think something should show up very soon. So here, this is gonna take some time before it shows anything. So it's still loading. Yeah, it was still loading. All right, so now we have our application, right? So here is not the preview. This is actually like the real thing. Okay, so it allows us to really like test our stuff, right? So here, if you see here, I can go ahead and try to sign in with just a random detail. I'll just say email at email.com, and then I'll just say 1 2 3 4 5 6, sign in. Now it is not going to say anything. It says there is no user record corresponding to this. Okay, so that shows you that this is working. We've done some really cool stuff already. Okay, so the next thing we just need to do here is we need to go ahead and then actually sign up. We don't have an account, so we have to sign up. So I will use our Nocode Africa HQ at gmail.com. okay, so it will require you to put in up to 6 characters or 6 digits or something before it can sign you in. If you try to use 5 like this, now I need to tell you you need a password should be at least 6 characters. So I'll just add it. So here that's my password. Okay, that's exactly what I'm gonna use in signing in when I'm coming back again. So Nocode Africa HQ at gmail.com. So I can just go ahead and click on create account. It's gonna create the account, and then it's gonna take me to the screen I'm supposed to see when I'm logged in. Beautiful. Now this is it. We have our application working out very well. There's a problem with one, which is this 3D animation. There's no image here, so but we have image in everything else. So we have software development service for business owners. So we have this is working very fine. It's good. So we have a problem here with the 3D animation. So I think the image here so we have to just go back to Firestore and then go to the 3D animation part. So here we will try to let's change this. All right, let's change this. Let's go find another picture. So let's say 3D animation. Okay, 3D animation. Let's find a picture. I think this was what I used at first. So but I think I'll just use this if it comes. Okay, this is nice. So I'll just copy the image address. That's what I did, and then I will paste it here, and then I will update. So it has updated, and then I will come here. So here my my debug mode is still running, so that takes a lot of time. Yeah, but the debug mode is really good because there's this thing called instant reload. Like this one now, I have this now. If you've seen here, that's updated immediately. We now have something from the database. Okay, so we're good with that. Now this is how to do it. All right. So we're going to do a couple of other things just to set up. The next thing we need to do is we want to create a situation whereby when you click on this or any area around here, it's going to take you to the services and the prices. All right. So now, but we need to do those settings here in the Firestore first before we go back. So let's come back here right now. Here, let's duplicate this home page because our list of services will be similar to list of categories, right? So we will just go ahead and then right click and then duplicate the page. So here it says home page copy. So I'll tap on it, then I will say let's come here and say services. Okay, so we just call it services. So then here the following services are available. Okay, then what else should we do here? Okay, so this is like our list view. Okay, so we just need to remove this list view from here because it's not what we want. Okay, so it's gonna give us some errors here. Don't worry, because there's some information here that are not known for image and this and that. That's it. So we will just go ahead and then set from, we can just delete it. Okay, so come here, tap on this and delete it for now so we can have peace. Then click here, set from variable, delete. Okay, so now we have some temporary piece, right? Yeah, so which is good. Temporary piece is really good. Now we have the screen for services. So we're gonna have like the picture of the service here. We're going to have the title of the service. We're going to have maybe the subtext here. This is gonna be the description, and then here for real, I think we're going to have let me add a text there. Let me add a text there. This is gonna be our price. So let's just put here, let's just put some money there, right? So this is gonna be the amount of money for this service, right? So that's just it. Okay, this is good. All right, so so we have like so right, that means for these services we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 fields to put up in our database. Okay, so let's come back to our Fire. Okay, let's go back to that place. So we have a homepage copy. Let's change the name. This is the part. So we would just click on this and change the name to services. Okay, so and then leave it like that. So here is the homepage and the services, right? So what we need to do now is we go back to Firestore and we have to create a collection. But now we're not creating a collection under product categories, because no, it is not under product categories. It is a sub collection of each of the collections that we've already done right now. So each of the documents. So that means when you come to 3D animation, you should see something under it, but we're not creating for all of them. If you can observe here, we have I'm just gonna create for just 2. Okay, well, we will create for a couple of them. So I'll create for, this is it. So we have like this is a sub collection for graphic design. So we have like 2, then 1, 1, 1, then okay. So let's see. So let me copy here and say logo design. So I'll come here to here. I'll say start collection, right? So but let's go to the correct one first. Where is the graphic design? So look for the graphic design part and then create what you need to create. So this is graphic design. So now we want to create, we're not adding a field, we're adding a collection. So we click on start collection, all right? And then we will call this hold on, let me think. So we can click on this and say start collection. This is gonna be called services. All right, so services, let's see. Yeah, so services, and then here we have a name. This is gonna be called logo designs. Logo design. This is gonna be called description. Then here is gonna be let's say amazing logo designs for cheap prices. Okay, so here is gonna be price. Yeah, so price is not gonna be string price, it's gonna be a number. And so here you have to put a value. So the value here is gonna be let's say a logo design, maybe $100, right? So what else do we have? We have an image. So image is a string, and then I paste the thing I had copied. Okay, so now let's see what we have. So here, these services, all right, is this services is a sub collection, right? Hold on, I hope I haven't created something wrong. Let's say start collection. Okay, it didn't ask me anything. So this, and then this, and then this. Hold on. Okay, so it says here services. So services, so we have here, that means for graphic design, right? So it has a sub collection that is with these documents, right? So this is a collection. We're not creating another collection, we're going to create another document right now. So we'll click on this, click on auto ID, then we say name. Let's say that was logo, so we say flyer design. So flyer design, and then here we will say description. Let's say description. So creative flyer designs for all businesses. Then we come here to field and we say so it was name, description, we have a price. So price is not a string, is a number, so I will charge $50 for this. So here we will say image. So image is a string, so flyer design, I copy this and paste. Okay, so we save it. So now under the graphic design collection, we have a sub collection which is called services, and then it has two fields here. So we won't fill everything for sake of time. I don't really want this to drag too long. So for services, this is it. We have this here, right? So I will just go back again to product, and then I'll pick for marketing, right? So I'll pick for market. Let me look for marketing. All right, so let's seek for marketing, and then that's all I will do for marketing. Let's see, digital marketing. So I will click on start collection. It says collection ID, so I'll call it services. All right, so then click on this and say the field here is name, email marketing. So description, you have to be careful about your spellings. Description, email marketing for growing businesses. Okay, then for here we have field is gonna be price. Price is gonna be number, don't forget. Let's say we're charging 1,000. Oh, that's high. Let's say $200. Then here is gonna be the image. Okay, so I'll come back here to email marketing and then copy this. I had to create that so I don't get to waste a lot of time. So save. Okay, so now we have a particular collection under email digital marketing called services, and this is it. It has a document called email marketing. So we will add another document. All right, this document will give the field a name, the same thing we've been doing. This is gonna be social media marketing, and we'll say description social media marketing for SMEs. Okay, then here we say price. The price is gonna be number, value is $800 per month. I'm just imagining it. So image here, so let's say social media marketing. Let's just copy this image. I hope we can use image from iStock. It says here it's not complete, so I think we will have issues with that image. So let's say let's come here and get an image at once. Social media marketing. I just need something quick I can use. Okay, so I like this one. So copy image address, come here and paste. Yeah, I like something like this. Okay, so now we have a collection for two of the product categories. All right, so now we have done that. So what we just need to do is go back to let's close this, go back to FlutterFlow, and then go back to the database. All right, so here you come here, so you come here just like we did for, then leave this was the setting part, so click on here. Just like we did for product categories, now we need to go ahead and create another collection, but this time around we will call the collection name services, and it is not a collection on its own. It's actually a sub collection. It's a sub collection of what? So we will see here they say this name should exactly match your collection name in Firestore. So you have to be careful. So here is the collection called product categories. Okay, so we have product categories, and then we can go ahead and click on create. All right, did we get it right? Yes. So we click on that, and then we create the schema, like the field for it. So here we have the name. The name is a string, yeah, and then the description is a string as well, yeah, and then we have price. Price is it says here integer. The other side says number, so number, integer, same thing. So integer. Then here says image. This one is image, and we're gonna look at photo path, right? So okay, so we have these now. Now the next thing you can do is you can come back to the settings and validate status again, just to be sure. But I think I have been careful to ensure that I have given the names accurately, and it should come out successful. We should see successful here if the schema in Firebase is the same as in FlutterFlow. Okay, so let's just see how this goes. All right, say successful. So we have it that it's successful, and what we need to do now is we need to go back to the widget tree and then start using what we have done. Okay, now we want to be able to query the things that are from our database. If at all we just wanted to query the, what is it called, the collection, the services collection, we can just go ahead and then add backend query and do exactly like we did before. But that's not what we want to do. We want to make it such that when a user clicks on this place, right, the action that the user takes, clicks on here. In fact, on hovering you should see a hand. Right now you don't see a hand, but later on you'll see a hand. When we do all our settings, you should click here and it should take you to another screen that shows you the services under software development. So don't forget, we've done for just graphic designs, and we've done for digital marketing. So those are the ones that we're going to test out. Okay, so let's go ahead and come back to here, and then let's set it up. So this was the login page, the home page. Now I want you to go ahead and go to the row, right? So this can be, we want to create the action for the either the row or the menu item. So I think we can use the menu item. Anyone works. So this is like the entire field that if your user clicks around here, not necessarily the picture or the name or the icon here, but if he clicks around here, then they should be ushered to a particular part. So either you do it like that or you just use row. I think we should use row. It's a little bit narrower. So let's use a row. Okay, so row, you click on row, and then you come here, it says actions, right? So you click on actions, and then it says add an action. So we'll click on add an action here. What action do you want to add? It says type of action is here on tap, on double tap, on long press. So we want to do on tap. So when the user taps, like on tap, okay, so it's supposed to navigate to, right? So we click on navigate to. Where does it navigate to? The screen called services. Now that's exactly what happens. Now we don't want it to just navigate through the services. We want it to pass the information that is from this this screen to that particular screen. All right, we wanted to be able to like pass like a follow-up, right? Okay, so what we need to do now is we're going to define the parameters. Okay, so we're going to define it. So you say define parameters for services. All right, so if you hover on this, it says when you navigate to a new page, you can pass in any parameters available to that page. So we want to pass in parameters from the product categories, not the product categories itself, but the collections. All right, so we will go ahead and click on define. When you click on define, it brings you to the service, the screen that you want to define, which is the services here, which we did the connection. We said on tap, navigate to services. Do you understand? I believe you understand this. So now if you go ahead and then do this, the next thing you need to do is you need to add the parameter. So the thing is this, I get to use leverage on every single information that is found on this platform to learn. So if you hover on this, you say, it says define the parameters that are passed into this page and will be used by widgets inside of it. So you have to define it, give it a name, all right, so that you can always call upon it when you need it. So we will add parameter. What we will call this parameter? Let's call this parameter let's call this parameter what should we call this parameter? Let's call this parameter product cat, or maybe now the thing is this, there's a convention that says use it as like you can say product reference, right? So product reference, you can leave it like this, product reference, or you can just use it. So now I'm basically passing every information that is connected to that page, the very first page, down to this one. So I will now go ahead and say type. So what kind of what am I trying to do? It's going to be a document reference, right? So it's going to be a document reference because I want to be able to reference it. All right, and then collection type, I want it to be the product. This is a little bit dicey here. So should it be the product categories or should it be the services here? Now this is the part that you need to be like really careful about. So it is telling you to define it. All right, so are you going to be passing the product categories? The look at it here. It says the collection type. What's the collection type? Do you want to pass let's say the services or the product categories? All right, so if I told you what you want to show here in the services, right, if what you want to show in the services screen is the details of the product categories, right? I just hope that makes sense. Then you can go ahead and select this. But right now we want to pass, the collection that should move from that page to this page to be the services. So we'll click on this and then we'll say, we'll go ahead and then say, no, okay. So let's first of all, let's do this. If we encounter a problem, we will come back and change that. All right. So let's say, let's confirm this. Okay, so now it shows us, this is like this is back here now. This brings us back here to where we were before, the product categories. Then we can go ahead and then pass it. All right, so we can say now we want to pass it to that page for real. We did the definition then, so now we're going to now go ahead and then pass it. Let's see. So when we want to pass it, it tells us click here. So the parameter we are passing is called product ref, which if you tap here, nothing else is there. So you click on set. So it says set variable. All right, so set variable. Now the variable here is going to be the reference for the product categories document. So we pick the reference here. All right, and then we go ahead and then confirm. Now let's see if what we have done works, right? So if it doesn't work, we will have to do a couple of switches and make it work. Okay, so let's come to services now. So now this is services, right? So we need to catch what we have sent out. We need to catch it here in this particular screen and see how to make it really work out. So where is that? We're going to go ahead and here we have the services. It says that this is like the top part of it. There's a column here, right? So services, right? Services. Okay, so okay, so now if we go ahead and catch what has been sent from the other side from the column point, we won't be able to affect anything that has to do with outside the column part, because like now this should be like this should not say services. This should just say this should maybe tell us that okay, this is This is the name of the product category, and then this is the services available under it, right? Yeah, so we would take it from the app bar. No, from the services. We are going to query the entire page from here. So we click on this. So it tells us that the document reference here is this, so product reference. Let's see if this works out. If it doesn't, we will change a couple of things. So let's query it. We click on this, add back and query, and then we want to query the database, but now we're not querying from the other side. We're not querying collection, we're querying from reference, document from reference. So get document from reference. What kind of reference? The document I want to get is going to be our services document, right? So those are the documents I want to get. All right, and then here we're going to do some settings. It says set the variable source. So we're going to say this is going to be our product ref, right? It's going to be our product ref. Okay, then it says a document ID. Let's go back to okay, so I think we have done a couple of blunder. Yeah, so we will have to change some things. So this doesn't work. Document reference, because we pick services. Yeah, so it's not gonna work out. If we actually picked if we pick product categories, right, and then we come here and then we pick the product ref, it works because we can now confirm it. So now what we need to go back to do is we will go back to the services screen, and then let's see route settings. Let's go back to our homepage, right? And then let's go back to the row. Okay, let's go back to the row, and then it navigates to services. Let's go ahead and remove this, right? Let's remove this. Okay, so okay, actually what we're gonna do is we'll delete all of this out. Yeah, because I think we made a little mistake there. Okay, so now this is our row. Now what we need to do is actually add an action. Okay, so on tab, navigate to services, right? Now that we're navigating to services, what we need to do is we're gonna pass it, right? So we'll go ahead and then pass. It takes us to this. No, we should remove this. Okay, so it says pass. No, we need to define actually. So we have to define it first. So if we click on define, it takes us to services. So here is what we did at first, so we can just like remove it. All right, so we add parameter. Let's call it services ref. All right, let's see, call it services ref. And then what we're going to do now is going to be document from reference. Collection type is going to be services. We had choose product categories before, and that was an error. So then we will go ahead. Now we're calling it services ref because for real it is a services ref. We're referring to the services ref. All right. So and then the collection type is basically services. Okay. So we go ahead and then confirm it. It takes us back here. So we pass what we have defined. It's called services ref. We click on it. We set it tells us to pick the source. So the source is gonna be from the product categories document. So we pick reference. All right. Get document property. Available options. Okay. All right, so we've hit another roadblock. So don't forget, at the beginning I mentioned that it is okay for us to like make a lot of errors, and then we will fix it as as we go. So you're going to just learn how I get to troubleshoot this, all right, until it works, right? So okay, here, so that was a services reference, and it is not giving me what I want. So we have product categories here, and the reference is not working because if I click on this, telling me available options, document ID, this is not supposed to pop up. It's supposed to be something else entirely. All right, so let's take this off, and let's define it again. Let's remove this again, add it, and call it let's just call it what we called it before. All right, so product ref. All right, so now the type, it's a document reference, right? The collection type is product categories. I think what we did was corrected first, but I think maybe we made some errors at some point. So it's the collection type, product categories, and we click on this to confirm it, and then we pass it. It's product ref. This is correct, and then this now. So we have the page parameters. No, we want to pass the source. The source is actually gonna be reference. All right, now this is actually correct. Now for us to get it right to this point means we're doing the right thing, because if you're not doing the right thing, it will, of course, you'll see all those reds there. So now this works, and the next thing that happens is for us to go back to the services screen, and then we need to go ahead and click on the services here, and we want to add backend query. So backend query, it says here our doc reference, product ref is a doc reference. So query type, what are we querying? We're querying document from reference, or we're querying a collection. At this point, we're going to be querying a document from reference. Yes, and we're okay, exactly. All right, so I think the error I made was this. So we'll pick the product categories, right? And then here we will still pick the product ref here, and then we'll confirm it, and then we'll confirm it. All right, that's fine. This allows us to have the data of the product collection around here. And then the next thing we need to do now is we'll come here to the list view. All right, so we come here to the list view. We're gonna do the same thing again, but not we just passed in what we got from the home page, right, to this part, right? So what we need to do now is we'll just go ahead and query the backend, but now we're going to be doing normal collection. All right, so the other one is query from collection, but here query from reference, but now we're querying from collection. So on sets, we're querying services, value source from variable. On sets, where are we taking our stuff from? We're taking it from product ref, and then we confirm, and we confirm, and this. So like this, now we have what we needed, right? So this is correct. Now let me make a recap there. So what we did before was correct, okay, but it's just that we needed to like increase the hierarchy. So what do you pick from, what do you pick for when you querying the document from reference? It is cover the entire page before you now go ahead and do like a normal query from collection. Okay, so now that we've gotten this, we can now go ahead and then click on this, the image, and then start setting things from variable. So we can have this is our services document, so it's now appearing. So we can have our image. Very good. We can click on this, click on set from variable, and then have services document name, and then here we click on it, set from variable, services documents, description, and then here the price, set from variable, services document, and then price. And then here at this point we just need to do some few things. So we have to change this from here to number formats. That's from money, that's the money itself. Anything that has to do with number has to be formatted like that. So you click on this for custom, and then click on this and then confirm, and then yeah, you have it appear like this. So now that we have done this, we have we don't have any errors here. So I think we should have like our application working normally. This never worked out. So let's close this because that wouldn't work again. We need to go ahead and then click this to run. Alright, so while this is running, it might take some time. I need to make a recap of what we did. Now, what we did was we went ahead and created a home page, and then our home page is a list of product categories that shows all the different categories that we have: the graphic design, the digital marketing, and then we just went ahead and then give an action to the row here in the product category screen, such that when the user clicks on it, it will carry the information, all right, from this screen to the other screen. Now, by information, I mean not just the product categories information as a collection, all right, but also the sub collection in each of these, as we're gonna see when this is done loading. All right, so and then for us to do that, we clicked on this, and then we did all of this, and then we did some definition. We defined it, and then we gave it a name, product ref, and then we selected the product categories as the type, and then we did lots of settings before we got here. So you can like try to go back to see the mistakes that we made at first, and then of course learn from it as well. So here it will take a couple of minutes before it loads. Now when that loads, we will test the application and see how it works. So it says the build has finished. I like this so very much. So we will just wait for it to, like, I think just do a little reload. Then we will have to see something here. Nothing is showing here for now. But now what is the next stage in our project? The next stage in our project is to add a details page. Let me see. Okay, this is showing now. So if you observe now, we have like this hand showing. That means there's an action that can happen here. So if I click on this, we won't see anything because that particular service had no, that particular product had no services. Okay, if we click on 3D animation, we won't see anything as well. But if we click on graphic design, we will see these different things. We now have here flyer design, creative flyer design for all businesses, logo design for this, and we see the prices just like we had put it in the database. All right, and then if we go to digital marketing as well, we also have the same thing. Now this is it. It might be a little bit difficult than let's say Adalo, if at all you've used Adalo before, but with time you get to like master this, and it makes a whole lot of sense because you can do lots of customization with FlutterFlow. FlutterFlow is like really amazing. Okay, so now we have created this. All right, what we need to just do again is we're gonna put a detail screen. We're gonna put a detail screen to these, and make it really beautiful, right? Detail screen meaning when we click on this, if you observe this application now, when we click on, no, not here. When we click on this, it doesn't show a lot of things, right? Assuming this description was longer than this, right? There should be a page that shows the full image, and then the title here, then the description, and then the price. So we need to have that page, and then we have like the add to cart. Okay, so let's see how we can get that to happen. Okay, now let's do it quickly. So we click on where is it? So here is where we have, you click on this new page, and let's call this let's go to content, right? So we're using a template again. All right, so I wouldn't want us to like waste a whole lot of time trying to create from scratch. We will do it in one of our videos, but for now we will just use something we can easily customize, right? Okay, so I know the video is long, but I believe that I have taken out some time to like explain a lot of things so you can like really understand what is happening here, because for real, this is one of the best tutorials available for understanding something like this, okay, in detail. All right, so at this point, if you've come this far and then you've not you've not subscribed to the channel, just click on the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. You can give us a thumbs up, I believe, and then drop comments if you have any questions. So let's go ahead and then add use this particular one for our description. So let's say use my team and say service details. Okay, so service details, create new page. Okay, so this is it. I will be a little fast here. I will delete a couple of things. So here we will leave this button like that. This is a row. Okay, now let me see. It says here friends. Let me see if I can friends row. I need a place where I can see all of this. Okay, top friends. Okay, so I'm just deleting all of this. And then this is going to be description. So we will use here is going to be the service name. And then here is going to also be okay, we can leave it as service name as well. Services name. Don't worry, this will come from the database. We're just typing it. This is going to be the price. This will be the description. We don't want all of this. Okay, delete this. And this is not going to be reserved sports. This is going to be add to cart. Okay, so add to cart. Okay, so we have done this, and what we just need to do now is we're going to create something. We're gonna try to do the same thing that we're doing. We'll pass data from the services screen to here to display everything, right? So let's see. Here in the services screen. Okay, in the services screen. All right, so we have it here. We just want the row. We can use the row. When you click on the row, right, it should take you to the service details screen. The same thing we did before, we would do it again. So now pay attention again. All right, so here we're going to go ahead and then add an action. So we'll click on add action. All right, on top is the type of action, and then we want to navigate to service details, and then we have to define what the parameters involved. So let's call this the service ref. Okay, the services ref. Okay, that's correct. Then click on the type here. It's gonna be document from reference, the collection type. Don't forget, the last time we did it, we used product categories because we wanted to pass the services, right? So here we're gonna be using services now because we want to pass the services. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and click on confirm, and then we're gonna pass it. Click on this. The parameter is this. Then here is gonna be like the source, product ref. So it says here. So if you have services document, no, we're not going for this. Services document. All right, so we're going for the services document, and then we're going for the reference inside the services document. Okay, and then we confirm. That's exactly how you do it. Okay, so now we have been able to push data to that particular screen. If you come to the services details now, it'll show you, oh, some documents have been referenced, and that document is called service ref. How do we use it? Now what we're gonna do is we will go ahead to the top of the tree. This is called a widget tree. So the top here is the services details, right? And then we will do exactly what we did before. So we'll query the backend, but now no, we're not querying collection. We're querying document from reference. Which document are we querying? We're querying our services. And then we come here and then we pick the services ref. Okay, and then we confirm, and then we confirm, and that's it. That means we've now confirmed that the data has been passed to this particular screen. Okay, so here this is not a list, so we don't need to go ahead and then start doing query from collection and all of that again. So we just need to have, we click on this now and then set from variable. We go to services document and then we say name. So this is going to be the name of the service. So here we click the same thing, set from variable, services document, name, and then here say from variable, services document, price, and then no further changes. It's supposed to be number format, custom format, then display as currency and confirm, and then here is gonna be the description. So we click on this, our services document, description, and that's it. Now we have what we want. And if I told you, observe how we've been building this, we're building it step by step, and then we test what we've done so that you can be sure about every single thing. All right, so if we come here now and try to hover this, it's not going to work, so we'll have to just like close this and then run it again. Now, just like you know already, that might take some time for us to run, so I will talk about the next stage that we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to create a screen for cart, right? So if you come back to what we have here, we have our product categories. We've done that. Service, we've done that. Add to cart is the next step. Then we do checkout. All right, so let's come back to here and then go to add new page, and then here we will come to e-commerce. It's called e-commerce. So here you will see a screen that has to do with adding something to cart. Well, okay, so the thing is this, you don't necessarily need to use these. This is for when you want to get like payment, sorry. Yeah, so let's go to list, right? So because our cart is going to be more like a list, so we will go back and use what we had used before. All right, yeah, so I think we should just do that immediately. So this is the services, right? So we'll just duplicate this screen, Control D, so it will say it didn't select it. So duplicate page. Okay, so now this is what we have. Let's just call this page cat, C-A-R-T. all right, cart. And then let's come here and say cart, then we'll delete this out because you shouldn't have a cart icon in the cart. And then here the following services are added to your cart. Okay, so that pop-up there tells us that our app is ready to preview. Okay, so let me click on this list view, then come here and remove backend query for that particular for the cart, right? So I remove backend query for the cart, and then here we'll have a couple of errors, so I will just come here and delete what we had done before. Click on this, delete this, all right, and then this, delete this, and then the last one here, I think this should be the last one. Okay, so there's an issue. Parameter services ref passed by route to services is not properly set. Okay, so what did it say? Okay, let's just go ahead and check out what we have here first and see how our application, because we've actually not tested it, but it has finished loading, but it's not showing properly yet. It's gonna show very soon. I didn't just want us to waste a lot of time trying to wait until it loads, but now it shows. Okay, so let's hope this works. So we're not gonna click any of this, just click on this, and then now it shows a button, so we can click on this. It works. So it shows you flyer design, and all of this works. So this works very well. Logo design, so logo design, $100. It works very well. So but I think the error here is because of this page. That's really why I don't like copying. So we have home page, login, services, and services detail. So I will just go ahead and then delete this screen. I will delete this page. I think, yeah, that takes off the error. Let's go ahead and add the screen afresh, right? So we have gone a lot of distance on this. We have just a couple of things to finish. So let's say list. Where is the list screen? So we're just gonna choose what we had chosen before, but I don't want us to copy the screen because it can end up giving us some errors I don't want us to have. So this is what we can use. So we can say cards. This is exactly what we used before, cards, and then let's come here and then say cart. Let's say your cart is your cart item is found below. Okay, so we have this right now. So let's go ahead and then delete these things like we have been doing. Okay, so I'm just trying to delete the excesses that we have here. Okay, so we have this is fine now. Okay, so basically we have just one last page to create. So but let's work on the cards because this has a couple of things that I need you to also pay attention to. Okay, so the cart term, I wanted to write item and then it just put term. All right, so this is it. So now what we want to do now is when you come to this, okay, let's go ahead and then redirect this first. So if you click on this is supposed to redirect you. So we add an action. It's supposed to redirect you to on tab, navigate to cart. So we are fine with that. That works. So then if you come to the service details here and then you click on tab, add to cart, you're supposed to have the cart screen here populated with the things that you've added. Now this is the part that is a little bit delicate because here we're not going to go and create a database like a collection and say, okay, this collection is going to be for the things that I'm trying to shop. No, we're going to create an app state. It's more like a temporary storage location, all right, for a particular logged in session. Yeah, it allows you to store information there temporarily for each user. Okay, and then it's been cleared after the user like leaves the platform or something. Well, you can always save it over time. Yes, so we're gonna work on that, and then for that particular part we will do a couple of things. We will have to go ahead and then come here to query this, like try to we won't try to query backend. We will try to do something else entirely, right? We will be using the list view here. So on the list view, what we have been doing before is we try to query the backend, but we won't be doing that. We'll be querying dynamic children. We'll be querying dynamic children. And how do we create the dynamic children? We have to create we have to create it first. We have to first of all create an app state. Let's do it first. So if you come here to where is it? So this is it. It says app state. So you click on it and then you add state variable. So here we can call it cart, right? So this is the variable is called cart, and then it is not a string, is a document from reference because now we are referencing the services document, right? So it's a document from reference. And you know, in normal collections, you're supposed to pick like a particular data type. Maybe it's a number, integer, image part, and all of that. So, but here it's a reference part because we are trying to reference another thing entirely, another table entirely, and that table is going to be, that collection is going to be our services collection. All right. So so they now say reference type. So we are referencing the services. All right. So services, and then it's going to be a list. All right, so it's gonna be a list, so you have to put it up like this. If you don't turn on this list, it will be giving you one thing per time when you're trying to like you know, query it. So we create it, and that is it, right? So it doesn't take so much. Then we can go ahead and come back to the widget tree. What is this? Storyboard. So we'll come back to the widget tree, and what we need to do is we need to come to services details and click on the add to cart. This is the add to cart. So we want it such that when our users click on add to cart, that app state is being populated. All right. Then from there we can now catch it over there on the other side. So we first of all have to create this. So you come here and then you click on action, add action, right? Then on tab, what happens? We want to update app state. If you can see it here, update app state. And then it tells us add the fields. So we click on add fields, and it tells this is the particular the app state field that we have. So you click on this, then we have to tap on this as well. Select the kind of update type. What kind of update type do you want? Do you want it to remove things from the app state, or do you want it to add? In this situation, we want it to continuously populate it, like add information to it. All right, so we will click on this, and then we will say add to list. Now, what is the value source of these things that we are adding to the app state? Like, where are we getting this information from? So you click here, we're getting it from a variable, and then where is the source of this variable? All right, the source of this variable is actually from here. We're going to say is going to be from hold on. I think at this point we're going to say services document and reference. All right, so it's going to be services document and reference. So don't forget we said reference before, so services document and reference here. Okay, so we confirm, and then we are good. All right, now that we have done that, the next thing we need to do is go to the cart and try to populate this place with what we need. So now what we need to do now is we just need to go ahead and then click on this. So we have here menu item. Now we don't want the menu item, it's going to be the list view. Now we're not querying, we won't come here and say query add backend query. No, we're going to say generate dynamic children. All right, so generate dynamic children. Okay, no, the thing is this, we're not doing it from here, we're doing it from the topmost part of the application, right? Hold on, list view and the menu. Okay, yes, we're generating dynamic children from here, and then we say items. Let's just call the variable name items, right? And then here we click on the onset here, and then we want to go ahead and pick where are we generating, what's the source, that where are we generating this you know, these children from. We're generating it from an app state called cart. All right, then we click on confirm, and then we confirm again, and then we click on OK. So it shows here. Okay, it shows here. Now that it has showed here, it shows that this is like the list view. This is like the list of what we want. We can now go ahead and then come to the menu itself. All right, and then we can now go ahead and then query the database. We click on add backend query, click on this. We're querying the collection directly. We're querying it from reference. Okay, so yeah, we're querying from reference, and then we're querying services, and then where is it from? It's gonna be from items. Okay, so that's it. Now we click on confirm, and we click on confirm. So now we're good to go. All right, so we're good to go, and we're good to go. So here we can now go ahead and click on this and say set from variable, services document, image. We click on this and say set from variable, services document, the name, and then here set from variable, services document, description, here the price as well, set from document, services documents, the price, number formats, custom specific formats, check this display as currency and confirm. And that is that. We now have our cart, so we can delete this icon here. We now have our cart working optimally. Now if we go ahead and then run it one more time, now we had finished with this particular level of the app. So yeah, we will wait until this comes out. Now the thing is this now. So basically what we have done is we created an app state to store local data, all right? Temporary data. We're not storing it in Firebase. We're just storing it locally, right? Within FlutterFlow. Technically, that's what it meant. Like we store it there. And then when we are calling it, we're not querying it as a collection from Firebase. We're querying to get the dynamic children. All right, so that's basically what we have done here, and what we've done, it's really good so far, right? So let's wait until this gives us what we want, and then I think the next thing we're just gonna do here, which is like the final part of this tutorial. Okay, like there are two things left for us to do. Let's go ahead and create another page. That page is gonna be like our checkout page. So we'll say let's see, the checkout, let's just come up with a checkout page. Where is it? Okay, I think we can use this. We can use this. Checkout. Okay, so this is our checkout page. It's gonna pop up some errors. Yeah, I know, it's gonna pop up some errors. Okay, so our application is loading. It's here now, so let's say it's gonna show very soon. We're waiting for it to show. While we're waiting, there's a couple of things that we can just delete. So okay, so I think we can take this off, and maybe this as well. Container. Now the thing is this, right? So most of these details will be provided by the payment gateway. Yeah, so but let's just do it to this point and then stop at some point. So this is a container column. Let's click on this and add a button. Let's say button. Here 16, and then here we say pay now. The width we can just say 250. Okay, so 300 will make sense. 350. Okay, so 350 makes sense. So pay now. All right, so this is our checkout page. We wouldn't like do it to the end, but this is like the extreme of it. So let's check out our application, right? So this is it, and we can go ahead and then click on this graphic design, click on this, click add to cart. Okay, so we click on add to cart. So if we go back here and then click on add to cart, we see that something has been added to cart. All right, So it has been added to cart. Our function is working out very well. So we can add another thing to carts. Let's see what was added to cart. This one. Let's add this one to cart. So you see, we have two things now in the cart. If you click here, you have like two things in the cart. We can go back a little bit more to digital marketing. I think we can add this to cart as well. And then we have, you see, we have like 3 items now. So this makes a whole lot of sense. And then I think here we can have a button that says checkout. All right. So let's come here to services detail. It says add to screen. Now let's come to cart. And then in this column, let's add a button that says checkout. So we're adding a button that says checkout and making the length 300 and 50. Okay, so 350, and let's give it here 20. So that's it. So we have it here, and what we need to do now is we just click on add action, on tab, navigate to checkout. Okay, so that's it. Now that's the end for that particular part. Then what we want to do that really makes a whole lot of sense right now. It's a little bit complicated. I really hope we can get it right to make a whole lot of sense, to make the tutorial full. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, like now for instance, right, so we have all of these details added, to cart. This is $800, $100. So all of this should have been $950, right? So, but now we need to be able to show the cost here, like the total cost here. So let's see how we can implement that. Now we have to create something called another app state. We will call it, let's call it cart sum. All right, so cart sum. And then it's gonna be a double. All right, it's not a list, it's just value, card sum, and we keep it like that. Just initialize this as 0. Okay, so we go back to the widget tree, and then in the services detail screen, when you add to cart, there are some things that are supposed to happen, right? When you click on this, it actually does update the app state for the other one. So we need to also be able to update the number for that and then show it somewhere. So let's go ahead and open the flow editor. All right, so we click here to open the flow editor, then add another action here, and then here we want to, on tab, instead of navigating to, we want to update app state. So we click on add field. So we want to update the cart sum field, add the field, and then you click on this. It says select update type. We want it to be incremental. Specific value, no, we need it from variable. Then set, we want it to now what variable do we want to increment, right? So that is what this place is asking us now. What variable do we want? We want the variable from service document that is price to increment, right? So that's it. So with that, we are done with that. Now we can now come back to the cart. You can now come back to the cart, and then upon coming here, we can come to this place right now and then bring up what we have done. So when we say here set from variable, we will say combine text, all right, because we want to put the cards, then we now put something else on it. So we say combine text. So here we just write what we want as the text. We say cart, we leave it like that. Then we can add another text. Now this particular text is from specific value. That's why it's like this. So if you now add this, now we want it to be from variable. So This is where we now consider the number that we are looking at. Okay, so we come here, we will say this is where we are going to now look at the value that is in the card sum. Okay, so we can go ahead and then click on the card sum, and then we want it to be in dollars, so we say number format, and then we say custom specific format, display as currency, confirm there, and confirm here. So now we have these displayed here. All right, so but I think we have some errors. Boolean property not properly set in text field. Let's see, where is this coming from? Okay, so this error is coming from here. It's coming from here. It's not coming from what we have just done. So let's see. I wouldn't want us to waste so much time on this. Boolean property not properly set in text field. Let's see the breakdown of the tree. Boolean property. Okay, let me see where we can have that fixed. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I have inherited as errors from just bringing this up here. So what other error do we have? Property override. We have this as well. Okay, so I really don't want to waste so much of time trying to fix these errors. Sincerely. So I will just like jump over a lot of things. I will fix, maybe I'll create a special tutorial for this last part. I really don't want to fix a lot of things here. I just wanted us to have like this particular part. Yeah, okay, so I've taken off that this tutorial is already long enough, so I want to like bring it to a close as soon as possible. So what we need to do now is we just need to go ahead and test what we have done, and then that brings us to the end of the tutorial for this particular video. Okay, so let's see, let's run our application and see what we have. So now the last thing that we're gonna do here is just to test what we have done, and then finish up as soon as we can. So here, all right, so we will just wait until it finishes. Now the last thing that we could do, which I think would make a whole lot of sense, would be to create instead of having this icon here, we can replace this icon with you know, another icon that can allow us to you know, create something really unique. So this is the tricky part. I will try to see if we can do it. If we can do it, we will do it in the next tutorial, but let's see. Okay, so here I will just go ahead and then change this icon to an icon called delete. All right, so we can change the color of this icon to red, and that works. Okay, so now the idea is if you click on this delete, it should remove the a particular element from these cards, right? And of course when it removes it here, it should also reduce it here. So let's see if we can like quickly fix that. Although I think that's gonna like take us really long, but that's gonna take us a little long, and I think I would like to bring the tutorial to an end. It's already excessively long, so I think we will do this in the next tutorial. I will create a short continuation of this particular course, just a short continuation of it. So yeah, this is still complete, but I will just create a very short continuation for it, and then I will make it available so you can just see what to do on this particular part. All right, okay, so let's see what we have done so far. So this is it, and then we can have let's say graphic design, and then this add to cart, and our stuff is really working. So we have it here. It shows here $50, right? This was what we want. This is a cart sum that we just created. So you can click to check out, and it takes you here, right? Oh, we didn't connect that particular icon, so let's just use this particular part. So if we come here and then add another thing, let's say email marketing, and add to cart, we will see here it's now 200 plus $50, so that's $250. This is really amazing, guys. So I believe that you've been able to learn a whole lot from this tutorial, and I hope that you get to watch other videos in this particular channel. And this brings us to the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Click to subscribe if at all you have not subscribed, and give us a like, drop a comment if at all you would like me to explain more details, and thank you very much.